So, we've done League 2. Now it's League 1's turn for the predictions for the 25-26 season, and it starts right now. Hi again, it's me. Today we're doing my League 1 25-26 table prediction. And yeah, the like to delay, I'd like to get ourselves at least is five likes today if you're gonna do me nice. And make sure you subscribe as we're trying to get ourselves up to 200 subs before the EFL season starts next Friday. So make sure you subscribe if you want to. We have no messing about. 24th place. It's sadly going to be the playoff winner from League 2 last season, AFC Wimbledon. I think they'll sadly go down. They lost so many of their key players that were in the playoff final. So I really think they're going to be rock bottom 24th AFC Wimbledon. But I do think they'll have a good fight. They lost Owen Goodman to Huddersfield. That's a big loss. They've still got Matty Stevens, and they've lost like a couple more players, which I don't know. But I know they were key players from the playoff final, and they've all gone to bigger clubs in League 2. So I think AFC is going to struggle in League 1 this season. So AFC will be 24th in League 1, but I do think they'll pull off a good fight. But it's sadly going to go down, straight down, 24th place. As for my 23rd, it's sadly going to be Northampton. Yeah, I think their time's going to come to an end, sadly. Northampton, they finished 19th last season, and they only survived by the skin of their teeth. Not only skin of their teeth, barely survived, 5 points. But this season, I do think they're going to go down, sadly. Northampton, 23rd. I do think Sam Hoskins will be up there this season. Sam Hoskins will probably score some goals, but I do think Northampton will sadly go down 23rd. As my 22nd and 21st, I'm going to do 22nd and 23rd at the same time, because they're going to be on equal points, and I think they'll both probably go down on the final day. It's going to be Exeter 22nd and 21st Burton. Exeter, they've actually re-signed the goalkeeper from Crystal Palace on loan again. So I think they'll be relegated, but concede the least amount of goals. And for Burton, I do think it's probably their time that they might go down, sadly. But I do think Burton and Exeter will both pull off a very good fight. But sadly, I really think they're going to go down in League 2. Burton, they keep on surviving each season, and it's just unreal and impressive for Burton. But sadly, I think it's going to be same as always. But I think, yeah, it's hard to say. But I do think they're going to slip at the end. But it's going to be Exeter and Burton, 22nd and 21st. Comment down below what do you think will happen. But as my 20th place, the team that may probably survive, I think Mansfield. I do think Mansfield will survive. 20th place, Mansfield. They struggled last season. They had a poor end to the season, but finished 17th, beat the Peterborough 4-2 at one of the games. And also Bactus. Keep an eye out for Bactus. I really think he could be a player to look out for this season in the relegation battle in League 1. Yeah, keep an eye on him. So, and Mansfield, yeah, but I do think Mansfield will probably be around the relegation battle this season, but I do think they will survive, probably on the final day, I think, for Mansfield. So, 20th place will be Mansfield. As my 19th place, it's going to be Stevenage. Stevenage, 19th place. Yeah, most promoted teams from League 2 always manages to stay up, and that's what's going to cause Stevenage to fall down the table, or fall down a couple of places. So that's why I'm putting Stevenage 19th. And I can tell you, I think there'll be one part of the season Stevenage will be in the relegation zone and be 10 points clear of safety. So I think they'll all probably do a great escape to 19th place. So, but they have Dan Kemp. So I think he'll probably score some goals for Stevenage. But Stevenage, I think they'll probably finish 19th, but pull off a good fight. As 18th place, it's going to be a newly promoted team, Port Vale, coming straight back up from League 2 in the first attempt. Port Vale will finish 18th place. They have Darren Moore, and they have Chris Hoy in centre back still. What a player he was, finishing second in League 2 last season. I put it down to be 5th or 6th. Yeah, I think I said 6th. was it 4th? I don't know, but Port Vale, I do think you'll survive this time round. 18th place for me. Share your thoughts down below. Then the 17th place, Lincoln. Like Stevenage, the newly promoted teams from League Two always perform to finish mid-table, and that's what's going to cause them to fall down a couple of places. There was a season that they finished 7th, and 5 seasons ago, this is 6 seasons ago, they were challenging for the playoffs, and they were 1 game away from the championship. Imagine Lincoln in the championship facing off Fulham and Bournemouth. Just imagine them times. But just imagine. But now Lincoln are just chilling in League One, just being a mid-table club really. But I do think Lincoln, they've lost Paddy O'Connor to Reading, and yeah, it's gonna be a tough season for Lincoln. But I do think Lincoln will have an average bottom half, will be a mid-table bottom half team. 17th place for me. As my 16th place, I'm only going to perform a little bit, a teeny bit, Peterborough. Last season they were horrifying to watch. They were 18th last season, despite winning the Bristol City Metros Trophy, or the Virtue Trophy final of the Cup. And could they go on and win 3 in a row, the EFL trophies? But I don't know really for Peterborough. But they've lost Puku to QPR, and they lost Motherville to Stockport on a club transfer for Stockport. Yeah, that's why I really think Peterborough, but with their best players, it's hard to say, but when they have best players, they normally lose them. They just randomly lose them, and that's how they get a little bit worse or mediocre, or to stay the same. That's why they're always in League One, and they always stay in League One, and it's going to happen again, mid-table again for Peterborough. As my 15th place is a newly promoted team from Yorkshire, finishing 3rd last season, Bradford City, 15th place. They had the best fans last season in League 2, and I really think they're going to have one of the best fans in League 1. And I'm going to be saying this, I think they might perform one of the best in League 1 this season, joined with another newly promoted team, which we'll get onto in a moment. And I do think Bradford will probably pull off, I think they might pull off some big results against top teams in League 1. And I do think Bradford will have a very good season. And after that, I think they could actually challenge for the playoffs and might get into the championship after that. But who blooming knows for Bradford, because they are a very big club. But I do think Bradford will finish 15th. Then the 14th place is they're going to stay as they are. Rotherham just falling 1 place short from last season. They finished 13th. This season they're going to finish 14th. I know it's their 100th year of being a club for Rotherham, but I do think Rotherham will have another mid-table season. It's only because there's just too many big teams in League One, and they are a big club for League One, but I do think they're just going to be in the middle, because it's just really competitive League One this season, and they're gonna fall behind really for Rotherham. So Rotherham are gonna be my 14th place team. As for my 13th place, it's champions of League 2, Doncaster Rovers. They will finish top of the bottom half, Doncaster Rovers. And I can tell you, I'm another wildcard prediction. I think there might be that around Christmas time. I think Doncaster might be in the top 9 by Christmas. Try come back to this video by Christmas if I'm right. If I'm right, I don't know what I'll do, but I'll probably do something wild if I get that right by Christmas. But Doncaster, they have Luke Molyneux, they still have him. They have they have Doncaster. They have I know their club's called Doncaster, but they have Luke Molyneux. What a player he was last season. Without him, I really think they would have been in the playoffs. But I do think Doncaster will finish 13th place, top of the bottom half, and I really think they could actually go on quite higher each season goes. And then we end the top half, 12th place. I really think it's going to be a big downfall, but I think they'll probably lose a lot of their best players. Playoff finalists, Leyton Orient, 12th place Leyton Orient. I do think they'll probably lose Charlie Kelman to either QPR or Bolton. It's going to be really tough for Leyton Orient this season, because they're going to lose some of their most of their best players. They had Charlie Cameron, who was so good last season for Leyton Orient. They had Azizam and Gaveworth. What players they were last season for Leyton Orient, getting them to the playoffs. After the first 6 games, they were in the bottom 4. What a climb up to the table it was throughout the season for Leyton Orient last season. They beat teams like Wrexham 2-1 at the Wrexham Stadium. They pulled off good fights. They pulled off a 4-1 win at Edgeley Park against Stockport. They had a good fight against Birmingham and many top teams. But there was that time they lost 5 in a row. And I really think they might actually struggle this season. But I do think it'll be an average season for Leyton Orient. It'll be an alright season. But 12th place for me is going to be Leyton Orient. As my 11th place is another playoff team from last season. Wycombe Wanderers are going to finish 11th place. 11th place, Wycombe. Be aware of Richard Cohn because he might leave Wycombe. Because he was quite good for Wycombe last season, getting player of the season for League One last season. So keep an eye out for Wycombe, and they have a different manager than what they had last season. They had Matt Bloomfield, who went off to Luton. So it's going to be a tough season for Wycombe. But I do think Wycombe will try and challenge from the playoff spots, but it's going to be really competitive this season for Wycombe. But I do think Wycombe is going to finish 11th place and probably try and challenge for the playoffs. Then to the top 10 now with Barnsley. That will be 10th place for me. Barnsley last season they finished 12th. I knew they wouldn't get to the playoffs last season because of how horrendous they were the season before that at the end. And last season they were quite mediocre last season, but I think this season they'll improve themselves. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they keep Kayla Dunn. And yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. If they don't, I think they'll fall down. But I do think they'll keep them. And that's why they keep them probably in the challenge for the playoffs. But it's going to be very tough for Barnsley because it's a really competitive League One this season again. And I really think that Barnsley might fall behind again. So Barnsley's going to be 10th place for me this season. And then to 9th place, the exact same spot last season, Blackpool. I think you'll finish 9th place. You have a very good manager, Steve Bruce. 9th place. So many good teams are up there in League One this season that could easily fit in the top 6 etc. But it's such a competitive league this season. I think you have O'Castley. You signed Horsell from Stockport for the defence. I think they could concede hard to say, but I do think they'll concede the least amount of goals this season in the league. But 9th place for me would be Blackpool. In the 8th place, I think it's going to be a newly relegated team, Plymouth Argyle, that finished 23rd last in the Championship, beat Liverpool 1-0 in the FA Cup, beat Brentford 1-0 in the FA Cup as well. And I do think Plymouth, they might struggle. They have a new manager who is now in charge of them. I don't know his name, but it's right here. And they have Mumba still. It's like same as Blackpool and Barnsley. I think they could find it quite tricky to get up there this season because it's gonna be so hard this season. I know they went on form, but it was like quite late on in that end of the season. But if it started like quite a little bit earlier, I really think Plymouth could have survived and Hull could have been in League One. But I do think Plymouth, I think they're gonna miss out really. But Plymouth is gonna be 8th place. As my 7th place, all my days, 7th place, I bet every fan of this club is going to kill me or probably will be rioting in front of my house. Stockport County, 7th place. They're missing out on the playoffs. They still have Ethan Pye. I think Ethan Pye might go. They signed Motherville from Peterborough for a club transfer. And it's going to be a very tough season with Stockport, despite finishing 3rd. I really think they could have done it. I really think they could have done automatics if they really kept on Louis Barry, or if they dared to sign him permanent Louis Barry. But they didn't, sadly, and that's what caused them to finish 3rd and make them get knocked out in the playoff semi-finals in the semi-finals to Leyton Orient. So I do think Stockport might have a once-in slip-off and Stockport will finish 7th. What do you guys think? And then we're heading into the playoffs now. 6th place for me. I think it'll be the Bolton Wanderers. That'll be finishing 6th place this season. Bolton, last season they were 8th. They had a terrible end to the season last season, but I do think Bolton will probably recover. They have Steven Schumacher in charge. And I do think Bolton might squeeze into the playoffs in that final playoff spot, 6th place. It's going to be very tight, but I do think Bolton may squeeze into 6th place. And then we're heading to 5th place now. 5th place, I think it's going to be a wildcard pick. Wigan Athletic, 5th place for me. I do think they could do it. I really think they could do it this season. They have Sam Tickle in goal, who got into the team of the season in League One last season, considered the least amount of goals. But here's the problem is, they haven't scored that many. They scored 40 goals last season, and that's where it's going to come in. I think that'll be doubled, or almost doubled from last season, and that's going to cause them to make them be in the playoffs. And Sam Tickle, he had the most clean sheets in the league last season, and that's what's going to cause them to be in the playoffs. And they have Kerr in defence. Still have Kerr, who is mainly popular in the Wigan EFL fantasy team for the Wigan club. And with strikers, I ain't got Krillin, who's a striker for Wigan, but that's why they struggle to score, because I don't know who the top goal scorer is, because they score a least amount of goals. But this time, I think Wigan are going to be 5th place for me. And to 4th place, the newly relegated team from Wales, that finished rock bottom, Cardiff City, 4th place in the playoff semi-finals in the second leg tie at the home ground. Yeah, I'm napping. But 4th place Cardiff have a new manager. Don't know his name. But it's gonna be a really tough season. It's the first time they're gonna be in League One for almost ages. It's been ages that they've been in League One, but it's gonna be a very tough season for Cardiff. But I do think Cardiff will be up there this season. But I think it's gonna be very tight. But I do think 4th place will be Cardiff City. And then to the top 3, it's going to be, I really think 2nd and 3rd will be extremely tight. It might come down to goal difference, all by 1 point. I'm going to go for a drum roll, please. It's going to be Reading. Reading, 3rd place for me. They have new owners. They signed Paddy O'Connor. That's the main signing I've seen them sign this in the transfer market from Lincoln. And Reading, I really think they could actually march into the playoffs. They missed out on it last season after losing 4-2 to Barnsley at home on the final day. I really think they could have done it. They could have gotten to the playoffs. But it was so tight for Reading. But I do think this time, Reading will get into the playoffs. New owners on the bounce. But I think they're going to bottle automatics. But 3rd place for me is going to be Reading. As for my second place, back-to-back relegations, they're going to go straight back up to the Championship on the 1st attempt. Luton Town, 2nd place for me. Look out, they've been through almost everything since 2023, and it's just been unreal for Luton. Getting to the Prem for the first time in their club's history, and back in the top tier for the first time in 30 years. Then coming straight back down, finishing 18th, then coming straight and doing back-to-back relegations again. Last season I put them to win the league last season in the Championship. Finished 22nd on the final day. They got relegated on the final day. They almost survived, but sadly they got relegated. But this time, they're going up automatics, 2nd place. I know they lost a lot of their best players, but I do think Luton will probably rebuild, and I do think Luton will come straight back up in the 1st attempt. And then the 1st place, I think you all out know this one. It's going to be Huddersfield Town that will win the league this season. They signed so many players. They signed Alfie May, League One winner from last season for Birmingham. He scored quite a lot of goals and assists for Birmingham last season. And they signed Harness from Ipswich. They signed Owen Goodman. The list really goes on really for Huddersfield, but I do think they were the missing puzzle pieces from last season. And that new manager, League One, former Ipswich Town player or manager, is going to send them to the champions of League One and back to the Championship for the first time in 2 years. And that's why Huddersfield is going to win the league. But yeah, here's the full table of my League One predictions right here. But yeah, if it's my prediction, you can comment down below what your League One prediction is going to be. I say like, I do think Wigan will probably go down. I really think Leon will win the league. But it's your prediction. You can comment down below what your prediction is going to be. And yeah, but thank you for watching this video. I've enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.